Street. I am not Colleen Swingle-Titus, you may have noticed. She and our beloved Ruth Berta are at the Disciples Convention in Memphis, Tennessee. She sent me a little video clip of them listening to music last night, and I am still trying to get over being jealous. But anyway, my name is Donna Kane. I am the worship pastor here at Park Street. Very happy to have everyone here with us, those who we see every week and those who we don't get to see every week. We welcome everyone here. Last week, this is the second in our speaker series, which we try to do every July. And last week we had Del, right? Del 4, was that how he was referred to? Del 4, an incredible artist. And we have some of his artwork, you'll notice on the slides behind us as the morning goes on. We've incorporated some of his artwork up there, so you don't forget him. I mean, it's truly beautiful stuff, so you'll appreciate it. All right, what else did you want me to say? I've already gone around. You table hosts know who you are for communion. And I guess that's it. I've just welcomed everybody, and we are going to start this morning with a song that we've used for every opening, the opening song for every time we've had this speaker series, and it is called Meditation on Breathing. Now, there's going to be a few people in the room that have never heard the song before, but it is super simple, and we'd really love for you to join in. I was going to have Elizabeth, and I got to find Cheryl. Where's she hiding? Cheryl, come on up, and I will teach it to you real quickly, just for the benefit of people who have not heard it before. So the main part, and if you just want to hold on to the main part, it goes like this: breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Good. Okay, so that's the main part. If that's all you want to do for the whole song, we need people to do that. Then the middle part goes: when I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Then Cheryl's going to lead us in the high part, which if you are a soprano or a tenor, you will feel very comfortable joining our beautiful Cheryl. All right. Oh my goodness.
We've gone very high on this.
I know, I started it too high.
You started very high.
I need Ashton's pitch pipe. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. One more time. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Oh my goodness, I wish we were recording this. It sounds so pretty. All right. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, job. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. And at this point, we're going to bring up Nancy to introduce our, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot we had the sacred readings first.
That's okay.
So sorry.
No worries. No worries. Okay. So, well, good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Let's try that one more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. After all that breathing, I was hoping you'd have a response there. So for our sacred readings today, this is from As Interpreted in Priests for Equality, the Inclusive Bible. It's from Isaiah chapter 42, verses 5 and 6. Thus says the Lord who created the heavens and spread them out, who gave shape to the earth and what it produces, who gave life to all peoples and spirit to creation's inhabitants. God has called you to serve the cause of right, saying, I have taken you by the hand, and I watch over you. And a word of inspiration from Stoic Marcus Aurelius. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. And now with that, Nancy, will you come to introduce our speaker?
Good morning. Super excited to be here today. I just love this series. This is our third year running that we've been doing this, and I'd say over the years we've met lots of people with lots of different talents, and today is no different. Shaz comes to us from, well, we've known each other for many years in different ways. We've worked at the hospital together. She would put people to sleep. I would wake people up. It was a great partnership. And then I met her on a mindfulness retreat up at Morgan Farm where Jonathan Bartels was leading that. And you might remember him from last year. He was one of our speaker series individuals here. So with that, I would like to invite Shaz to join me up here and we can learn more about you. Come on up. So I think what we'd start with is tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hold the mic close to your mouth, please.
Wow, you can't hear me?
Also,
Is it on?
for the
Yeah.
people
Over here. You can hear it like that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. How about the ice cream cone? Good?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Let's begin again. So, we'd like to start with getting to know you a little bit and maybe start kind of beginning. Where you're from, where you were born, what brought you here. We'll begin there.
Born in Germany, and I'm born in a British military hospital because my dad was Jamaican, and back then we had British nationalities. And at the age of 6, we moved, my twin brother and I, we moved to Jamaica, where my dad's from, and then I was then sent back to Berlin to live with my grandmother at the age of 9. So that's kind of my setting, how I grew up, and it was a bit tumultuous, the childhood, and that's why it took me to different ways of dealing with life.
So you grew up in Germany, you lived there for most of your young life?
Yeah, grew up most of my life in Germany, but I had 3 years in Jamaica, because my dad wanted to go back, but my parents had separated, and my twin stayed then in Jamaica with my dad, and I was staying there with my grandmother in Berlin, and we're German, and I like to say I'm Jamaican. But yeah.
A nice mix.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, you said your childhood was different. Can you speak to that a little bit? Were you a curious child? Were you more out in nature? Tell us a little bit about you as a child.
So, I was actually innately a very adventurous and creative child, but it was not fostered in my parenthood because my parents were very young. They just, my dad was military, very strict disciplinarian, so I felt very contrived as a child, which then later expressed itself with going off traveling and doing a lot of things when I was rebellious as a teenager. But it's still there, yeah, but it's still there, and that expressed itself with backpack travel and spiritual seeking and all kinds of other things that you're not supposed to do in, traveling
Along the way.
along the way.
As we find ourselves.
Yes. As we find ourselves.
Sounds very normal to me. So talk to us about maybe some of your hobbies. We're going to take a little bit of it here. So maybe through that childhood, did you develop some hobbies, things you really enjoy, things you stepped into?
So I wanted to pursue creative things, but it was not encouraged. So I just did my own little, I just made up things in my head, and I had little encounters with fairies that were very supportive of me when I was, when I was not doing so well with, certain things happening in childhood. But so if I had the choice, if I could go back, I would have loved to have done music or, acting or anything like that. So no real hobbies. It later developed into then sewing, because I wanted to develop my own clothes while in high school. I went to a fairly prestigious high school in Berlin, and I wanted to keep up with it. So sewing was a big thing for me.
Wow.
And but then the real hobby became actually meditation. And I had my first encounter when I was about 14, 15.
Tell us about that a little bit.
So, again, I felt, we all probably suffer from some kind of anxiety. Why are we here? What's going on? Is this, I had those questions early on, and then I joined this meditation class and just noticed this presence and silence within myself I never noted before. And I was able to shut out external, like, oh, there's something I can trust within, and I wasn't dependent on society and adults telling me what I should be doing in my life. And in fact, at 17, I dropped out of high school because I just didn't see the purpose of all of this, because I wanted to explore my racial identity, because that was kind of suppressed with my German grandmother, said don't tell anybody you're black or your dad is black, so that was explored. And I just took some time off, and also that's where the spiritual seeking kind of happened, and I just did different avenues. But good news is I did come back, as any teenagers here, I did go back to high school. I understood the importance of being in school, and actually I did quite well. I excelled quite well in high school then when I returned.
So is that part of the turning point for you, the meditation that then turned you around in terms of, I'm going to go a little bit further, I'm going to try to educate myself, I'm going to have a different life? Talk about that a little bit, that led you to where you are, because you've come a long way in what you do. We'll talk about that too.
I would consider that like a sacred turn. It's a big thing going. I also financially supported myself. I worked from an early age, like 14, I was a farmer's market, I worked there, and then 15, I was waiting tables, so I had quite a bit of cash. I was working in the beer garden in Berlin, and I was working for this Eastern European guy. Did not want to know how old I was. He says, can you wait tables? I said, yep, and off I went. So I had that financial independence, and I also was able then at 17 just to take off. And just, I went to my high school director and said, this is what's going on. He allowed me to take that time off. But yeah, that was a big turn, because I came back and realized again that there's something greater I want to explore. For me, then I thought it was just travel, but then I became also, I grew up very fast. I was very mature for that age. I met people who were into Kali Gibran, all these different spiritual teachings. And so that took off. And then I came back, finished high school, and then I took another year off after high school. They call it gap year now. And what did I do? I traveled all over and just tried different yogic paths. And then eventually I came to the States at age 21 to join my twin brother, from whom I was separated from the age of 9. And that was the main reason I came to the States, you know, so that's kind of,
connection there.
that there's that connection. Why did I come to the States? And I wasn't only planning on staying here for a short while, but ended up staying.
So you 2 years there, so you stayed, so you, what
Um,
led you to your career that we'll talk about, that's how we know each other.
Well, the career did not start then. I mean, I've been a wanderer. I tried this and tried that. And originally I went, why did I stay? That's a really good question. I just knew going, I mean, I actually did want to return because I had all my high school friends in Berlin and I had a high school sweetheart. But there's something, again, the meditation that I was doing just said, no, you need to stay. And in retrospect, you know, everything makes sense in hindsight. And I couldn't return to Berlin, and I'm glad I didn't because I would have been probably engaged in a lot of destructive behaviors that were not going to be supportive of my path that I'm currently on. So I originally got a degree in international relations, thought I was going to be a diplomat, but then I realized I didn't want to rub elbows with all these politicians. That was not going to be my cup of tea. Ended up in corporate world, marketing. That was my first paid, you know, benefits, and like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. But that didn't stick with me for too long either. I just had a call to be of service to some degree. And eventually then when I was, then I quit, I actually realized, what am I going to be doing? And I volunteered for a while. I worked in, I volunteered with the Turkish inhabitants that had just went through that earthquake in, what was that, 1990. And that's when the idea of becoming a nurse was actually, that seed was planted. I was doing more admin stuff because I was good at that, having a business background, but I wanted to be more in there. And I said, well, the seed was planted, but I thought, I'm a science person on humanities, languages, you know, stories that we tell ourselves. We have limiting beliefs. And then eventually, I then, a few years later, you know, through some other events, I then decided to become a nurse and was given the opportunity for a full scholarship to go to New York at Beth Israel School of Nursing.
Wow.
And I really needed that because at that time I had made some poor choices with a marriage. Financially, I was, you know, down the tubes. So I'm very grateful for having had that scholarship and living in the most expensive city in the country.
Yeah, no kidding, New York.
But I lived in I found a place for $350. It was like an hour and a half away from Manhattan, you know, just one way. But that was also another sacred turn, becoming a nurse. That would I say is another.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So CRNA school, what you know, turned you to do that? Because nursing school is one thing, and then becoming a CRNA is a whole other level. It really is.
You know, my life, I just kind of fell into it. A lot of people have these plans. I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. It just, how did I become? Because a lot of kids that I see now, they know they want to become a nurse anesthetist. I actually thought I was going to become an educator. But at that time, I had met my husband, and I was supposed to move to Tallahassee to become an educator. But the school, for some reason, didn't have that program. Something was falling apart. And then I just arbitrarily just decided, well, let me see if I can do this nurse anesthesia thing. And it's really hard to get into the school. But I had an interview, and I was like, well, anyway, cut a long story short, I got into the school. And then I became a nurse anesthetist. And I didn't think I was going to enjoy it because I enjoy people. You know, you put people to sleep. But the right. But the part is, what I have discovered, what I love about it is you do meet people for that, you know, that short period, get the medical history, and I do have a connection after I'm done with that. And it's like, what is it that you're concerned about? I really like to, you know, like before they go to sleep, what is it that you're so scared of? And we kind of excavate that, even for that short period, to say, you know, we're going to support you. I can't give you 100%, but I can say about 99.9% you're going to be waking up, you know. So And just inviting them to breathe and, because it's very stressful. I had my first surgery when I was 42 and it's like, wow, this is stressful and I know this whole thing. So that's where my practice comes in, extending that loving kindness to the person, like the patient. This could be my brother, it could be my mother, my father, and understanding that. So that's where my practice comes in. I think really.
And that really is, I think, just kind of where we lead here. That's a very big sacred term for you. Because what I know about you, Shaz, is this important role that you play in putting people off to sleep. It's they're coming in, they're anxious, and you have that opportunity to help alleviate some of that as you take them off into that area, and then on the other end, you wake them up. So it is a really sacred time for people because it's tender.
It is
They
very
have a lot
tender.
going on when they're going back there. So you were able to pull both of those together, your love of your mindfulness practices with this.
Yeah, it is very special. And even when people are going off to sleep and so-called are unconscious, I do invite them just before they go to sleep to think of something positive or something that really uplifts and or even visualize maybe their healing. It takes a while to heal, of course. So I feel grateful for that, and then also just being present during the procedure and affirming only the best.
Absolutely. Let's see.
Like I've said a lot.
You have said a lot.
So I've been talking a lot.
There's such a
Not
thread
my
here.
forte.
There's such a thread of all the things you've been through and all the different turns in your life and all the different circumstances you've had. Yet through all of it, there does seem to be this sacred turn in all of it that pulls you together. Would you say that that's true?
Yeah, absolutely. There's something. Sacred is such a big word.
It is.
It's anything that inspires awe, or mystery. There's this. Even us. This could, we could consider this a sacred moment.
It is.
And we don't have to make anything big out of it, or just, I think with the practice that I have, I'm more able to be more present and just recognize the sacredness in everything. The electricity that we have, or, it's more like a gratitude, I guess, but there's something about that, growing up in a third world country, and we were definitely on the lower, end of finances. It's not like we, so, not having water for a couple of weeks, or because power outage, or water outage, but then you can see how sacred water is, or how sacred electricity is, and it's these things that we kind of just take for granted, and that's okay because we have that privilege.
So you, in some of the conversations you've had, you do take trips on occasion. Is that your way of kind of circling back, centering yourself, leaving work, traveling, doing some being outdoor in nature? Because you do a lot of that too, right?
Yeah,
Speak to that.
my hubby over there, Tim, and we hike a lot. We do a lot of camping. We still do tent camping, and I do meditation courses. I do 10-day retreats at least once a year. The beautiful thing about the practice is it's all based on volunteers, so it's free. And you have to do a 10-day the first time around, 10-day course, and the people that come there are there to volunteer, and that's something I enjoy doing too. Giving back, that's allowing people to work on their minds, because ultimately that's really what's gonna make a change within ourselves. It's the mind, how we're gonna be dealing with this present political situation. The stronger our minds are, the clearer we can think, the better we can be in the world and make more, respond rather than react to situations, and respond, with peace and harmony.
Sounds wonderful. Well, this has been a wonderful time. We have a minute or two left, and so is there anything else you want to kind of throw out, some words of wisdom you think of?
Words of wisdom.
We already talked about sacred, and I think you really spoke to that. So
I think I of course would like, I think what I really would encourage everybody to do is this retreat is a 10-day silent retreat. It's very powerful. You do not have to take on any Buddhist, vows or anything like that, or become a Buddhist. It's for anybody. What I like about it just gives you an opportunity just to be with yourself. Things do come up. This is not all kumbaya. This is very intense. But you get to work through things that, you may have taken 20 years of therapy, needed to do that. And you just with yourself, I can encourage everybody to do that, and so that they get a chance to work on this monkey mind and just to be more present. The more present you are, the more gifts you can give to others.
Absolutely. Well, this has been lovely. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to have our communion, and we'll be back with some questions.
Oh, I'm back here again?
We were there about I didn't know that. Okay, we're going to do our communion in just a moment. It's really my favorite part of our summer speaker series because it's more like what I think the original communion was, with Jesus sitting around with his friends and just blessing one another, taking time to be great, show gratitude for one another, and to offer peace to one another in a nice table setting. But before that, I'm going to do the offertory sentence. I appreciate you guys doing the interview, and it's always wonderful to hear another's journey, especially when it comes to sacredness and peace and what is centering you. Because we do, in this denomination, we really enjoy hearing, sharing, understanding where all of us are coming from. Now, we're going to consider other ways that we can share our sacred beauty, our bounty. As it's time and talent, your financial support of Park Street helps us maintain our compassionate efforts, from our affordable preschool, which we're hoping to build a new one, and welcoming support groups, to simply keeping this cozy sanctuary that we're in. After our special music piece and some table talk, Cheryl and I will pass around collection plates for any contributions and your questions for Shaz. So there are some blank pieces of paper on the table. If you have some questions that you would like to ask, please feel free to fill those out at that time. And when we pick up the collections, you can just throw your questions in there as well. Thank you for lending your ears. And now we invite another guest, a friend of mine and the choir director of Lift the Spirit Choir, which rehearses here most Tuesday evenings during the school year. If you're interested in participating in this meaningful and fun and uplifting experience, please see Ashlyn after worship today. Colleen and I and Chaz are all members of this group, and I'm telling you, during tumultuous times, to just get together and sing without any pressure or judgment, and it's just been like one of the most uplifting things that I have ever been involved in. So come and check it out if you would like. So Ashlyn, at this time, if you want to come up and do this, and then she's going to be leading us in tending the spark, and then Cheryl and I will come around and pick up your. I think it's really funny because Colleen isn't here to kind of go, yeah, like I'm like, okay, are we doing this? And then we're doing communion at the same time. I don't know. But Donna?
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Donna will lead that. Okay.
After we
After.
Okay.
Look at this. Look at it. Sorry, we got to along our way along here.
Yeah, well, I can do the teaching part, and then why don't you come up back? Okay. Yeah, you don't have to stand. So, this song is on, there should be some lyric sheets on your table. So if you can find one, there seems to be a lot of words, but I think if you read along, it should be fine.
It's also going to be on the screen.
Oh, it's also on the screen, yes. So this is a beautiful song by Heather Houston. And I'll sing a line one at a time, and you can sing it back to me. And we will care for each other. Can you try that? And we will care for each other. Oh, that's beautiful. As the world around us unravels, as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our grieving hearts, of hope that lives within our grieving hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, and we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, and we are here now, we have come together. We are tending the spark. We are tending the spark of hope. Ready? Of hope. Oh, may it grow. Ready? Oh, may it grow. Yeah. And when we repeat the last line, but it really starts a new repetition. And we will care for each other. Everyone? And we will care for each other. So nice. So we just discovered this song in the choir just this past year, and it was like, oh, this moment. It really just feels so nourishing to sing this with other friends. So I would love to invite my harmony singers, including Shaz and Leslie, Elizabeth, and Donna up here. And if you hear a harmony part and you want to sing that as well, you are welcome to sing whatever you are moved to sing. All right. Right. 1, 2. And we will care for each other as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our grieving hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, we are tending the spark of hope. Oh, may it grow. And we will care for each other as the world around care for each other as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our breathing hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, we are tending the spark of hope. Oh, make room, and we will care for each other.
Thank you. Well, we have come to the moment of communion, which has been talked about throughout the service so far. I hope the anticipation is building. Communion, kind of a strange word if you've never heard it before. Common union, which I think we all feel as we're sitting around this table and as we've listened to our speaker and as we look into each other's faces and eyes and smiles, we realize that we have a lot that we share in common. And these last couple of weeks, I think we could all use some more of your practices, because I know not just the political situation, but also the images of the floods in Texas. And I have a very good friend who's a pastor who is working right in the middle of all of that grief. And it's hard to reconcile all that. And he was interviewed on CNN and asked the eternally hard to answer question, like, how could God allow, if, God is a living God, how could he allow something this terrible to happen? And instead of my friend, actually, you would remember, my friend Jack, he spoke at my ordination. I think he was just so wise. He said, these are all things that we need to take time with, that each person needs to think through. There are no fast and easy answers to any of this. But he said, no matter what, I know that we have a good God. So, with that said, our good God sent his one and only beloved Son into the world, not to judge the world, but to bring the world God's love and to let each and every one of us know that we are loved by God more than we could ever conceive of in this life. So Jesus, not Cheryl, Leslie, oh my goodness, don't get old. As Leslie was saying, sat around the table just like we're doing right now at a very special dinner, a Passover dinner. And he changed the focus of the Passover dinner from an old way of thinking to a new way of thinking. In the old way of thinking, people had a lot of rules and regulations that they had to follow to make themselves be right with God. The new way of thinking was, Jesus said, you are right with God. I am making it so. I have come so that you might know that you are forgiven, you are loved, you are cherished by God, and you are invited into the union that the Godhead experiences every day. And Jesus raised the bread and he said, take and eat. And so if our table hosts would also raise their bread, take and eat. This is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. And then he raised the cup. And if you remember from our Taste of Seder service, he raised the cup. And I think there were at least 4 glasses of wine at that Taste of Seder service. And we managed to somehow extend it to more than 4 sometimes. So you're welcome to come back in March or April whenever we have that on Holy Thursday. He raised the cup and he said, "This is the cup of my blood, the blood of the new covenant, given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." And now you may pass the bread and the wine. We're going to hear some music in the background, and just before our speaker comes up again, we're going to collect the offering. Don't forget to write your questions that you have for Chaz, and they will be back up in about 10 minutes. Enjoy the conversation. once again, I want to say thank you to our speaker, Chaz, and thank you to Ashlyn for making this such a wonderful and special moment, in your special moments and a wonderful morning. We're going to close this morning, but let me remind you and invite you to come back next week. We have Dave Shreve, who will be here with us. So please come back, bring your friends. It promises to be another wonderful, wonderful morning together. So our last song is called Filled with Loving Kindness. And again, this is a song we've sung many times for our closing song. First time we sing, May I Be Filled with Loving Kindness. Then we sing to each other, May you be filled with loving kindness, and then may we be filled with loving kindness. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. Now sing it to your neighbor. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. See you next week.